Freakazoids. Well, I think on the 12th, it was the 5th anniversary of the Summer Wells case. So I figure it seems like, Nancy Grace just did a video on it, and she was talking about how the FBI is now involved, and I was thinking, I thought that already happened. And it was weird. The whole episode of Nancy Grace was regarding something in November of last year, which isn't really new at all, but it is the 5th anniversary. So I thought we'd go back over it again. I'm not filling the full screen. Oh, let's see. Is that this? Oh, there you go. Oh, huh. Maybe it was like that yesterday too, I don't know. But there you go, right there. I can't tell on my end. Just black background regardless. Now it's the 15th? Are you sure about that? Okay, well it's coming up. That's right, 15th, that's right. I just saw that a little bit ago. So it's, I guess tomorrow is the 5th anniversary. I was thinking about an article I was reading from the year after. So, I don't know, I thought we'd just sort of reset the whole thing. See if we can get through it. I'm not going to get into the conspiracy theories and all the different people that everybody thinks is, it's really just going to be, the timeline and, show it on a map, that kind of thing. I have it all, we've put all this together way back when it happened. We covered it for a few months and then it just sort of basically drifted away. They should have probably got the FBI in there from the get-go, in my opinion. All right, so let's see. I'm just going to use, let's just see what it was saying in some of these articles back then. So this is from June 20th. And it says, and this is 2021. It says, after 5-year-old Summer Wells went missing from her home in Beech Creek, investigators have worked around the clock to locate her. Summer's parents spoke with News Channel 11, allowed the release of new photos of the property that show where her family reports having seen her last. And if you remember, after they went to, they took Grandma to the doctor's office. They picked up a guy named Hunter, and then he's just like a family friend of Candace, I guess. And then they went to I think they ended up taking the grandmother to like a Walgreens or something, and then they put the prescription in, and then they had to wait. So instead of waiting, they went to a place to go swimming. And then, Summer is in the water swimming. I guess at one point maybe she sort of went underwater and the Hunter guy had to pull her up. And then they went so some people speculate that something happened to her at the swimming hole, and the photograph of her in the vehicle is she's not alive, and that it's just been a big cover-up since so that they wouldn't lose their remaining children to CPS since they'd had problems prior. So that's the conspiratorial. I guess I did bring up conspiracy. Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. But when they got back home, the story that's told is that they went over near this. It sounds like I would have to believe that Summer made it home, okay, and she was alive. Because by now, the siblings would have said something. They've been in foster care for 4 years. One of those siblings would have said she never made it home, and then that would take the case in a whole different direction. You know what I mean? Yeah. So right here it says, Summer's father stated she went downstairs to play with her toys. Her mother went inside later, calling for her before heading down as well. My theory, just to throw it out there before we get into it all, is that I think something happened to Summer. I mean, I don't know. I'm like 50-50. I think somebody... It's just as likely that somebody literally went on the property and abducted her as it is that she died somehow on the property, and the mother maybe covered it up somehow and took her somewhere. But she didn't kill Summer. Summer died, but she didn't want, oh my God, we're gonna get the rest of our kids taken from us, and so then they came up with like she drove somewhere and then came back, then reported her missing, something like that. But I'm not even, I don't know. At this point, I don't think either one of them had something to do with it. I think some predator, perhaps, that lived in the area went up and got her. But how come we only have 67 people here? It's just wild, man. Absolutely wild. When she got there, Don Wells said the basement door was unlocked. So that's something, so there's some variances in that. So like when Summer went inside the home, she went downstairs into the basement area, which is crazy. If you go watch, Chris McDonough did some good videos where he went inside the home and, went down the stairs into the basement. It's the craziest thing you've ever seen, by the way. Like when you go inside the house, there's like this, I don't know, it does look like a bar, where you can stand behind it, a bar, like a wet bar kind of thing. And then there's this little opening underneath the bar that goes down into the basement, almost like it's hidden, like a hidden entry down into the basement. And it's really crazy. However, there's a door outside of the basement because it's sort of on a double level, like a hill, Yeah, we know that. We know that, Mills. I'm going to go through the whole thing. I'm just throwing stuff out there. Yeah, we know all that stuff. Yeah, so I guess let's just use this really quick. So, 10:30 to 11:30, Grandis was taken to a medical appointment. And then around 11:30 to 12:30, they pick up Hunter. And then 12:30 to 1 o'clock, they stop at the pharmacy. And I guess they went to a grocery store, and they're seen on surveillance. And then that was at 1 to 1:30. And then 1:30 to 2:30, they went to a swimming hole. And then 1:30 to 3 o'clock, there's the famous milk jug photograph where she's inside the vehicle. Let's see, I have the picture right here. Hold on. This one. So she's laying in the back seat on the way home, leaning against milk jugs. Now, I don't know if you guys remember the lunatic YouTube creators out there that said that she must have had hypothermia because these milk jugs are really cold. I mean, it was incredible. They actually literally had people go home and buy a gallon of milk and see how cold it was when you put your head on it. That's the kind of investigation we get on YouTube. It was ridiculous. All right, so that's the photograph of the swimming hole, and then after swimming on the way home, they must have dropped Hunter off at his place, and then milk jug photograph. Then between 3 and 3:30, returned to Ben Hill Road property, and then 3:30 to 5:30, they were planting flowers, and that would be like this is Grandis's trailer, and it would have been right over here. I've got a picture of it. Just a second. Oh, here's another one. But like right over here, they were planting flowers, and there's a better picture of it somewhere. I've got. Oh, here it is. So it looks like that. So there's the edge of her trailer, and they were planting flowers, they claim. All right. And let me go back to this. And then at 5:30, Summer reportedly enters the house or basement because Candace told her to go down, to go inside. And then she said she followed her to make sure she made it into the house. I always thought that was sort of weird. Like, why did you need to do that? I mean, you say, hey, go inside the house, and, just kind of glance over there. And, I mean, what made you nervous about her not making it into the house, And then at 6 o'clock, and she says that she knows that she went down into the basement. Now, I don't know if she got that from the kids or, where she got that information from. But then at 6 o'clock, Candace said she noticed that that Summer was missing, and then at 6:30 she calls 911. But see, the interesting part about that is 5:30 to 6:30 is really the key hour. Like, what really happened during that time, and it could even be a little bit prior to that, because we have 3:30 to 5:30 is the planting flowers incident, but at 5:30, let's say Summer's playing on the swing and the kids are inside the house playing games and something happens to her on the swing. Then you could come up, then you go, oh my God, we gotta do something, with her or something, so that we don't get the rest of our kids taken, because it'll look like neglect. So did I what? I don't know what that means, Mel. Yeah, so at 6:30, there was a 911 call, and then a massive search begins. All right, so the way that looks like on a map is, here's the house right here. And it's pretty crazy, really good sort of 3D model, etc. I think the trailer, I don't think it's there currently in this one. I think if we go back in time, let's go to, just look at a map. And let's see, go to okay, we've got to go back further. There it is. So there's the trailer right there. Okay, so that means they were playing with the flowers or planting flowers over here, and then she was sent into the home, and I think the entry of the home is underneath there. So you come in the home, and then there's just a bunch of stuff everywhere in the house, but that bar appears to be right in this area, and then there's these steps that go down below that into the basement. But anyways, let's just say in the morning time they took off, and they drove all the way. Let's see, let me turn it all on here. I think I got it backwards. Yeah, there. I noticed something didn't work there. So here they are right here, and then they drove this direction, and then in I think this town is called Kingsport here. They went and picked up Hunter at this house right there, and then after picking up Hunter, they take I think they picked him up before taking the grandmother to the Holston Valley Medical Center here. And then after that, they all drove this direction down here and went to the Walgreens. And I think they even went to Sonic and also this hippie house apparently at some point. But I would think that once they put their prescription in here at Walgreens, they then drove over here to kill time and went to the swimming hole right there. And this is the swimming hole where Summer goes into the water. And we go back. I have that. Hold on. I made a really good video on that. Hold on. Where the heck did I put it though? I had it a minute ago, but all of a sudden it's just missing. But hey guys, it'd be great to get the support tonight on the channel. Last night we got smoked again, didn't come close, 1/3 of the goal, and now we're behind again. So if you guys have the ability while we're doing this, that'd be great. There it is. Yeah, so I made this video, I stabilized, it was on, I think it was on TikTok or something, and it was just all over the place, but I went frame by frame and stabilized the image. So look how cool it turned out. So you'll see the picture moving around, but that's not what it looked like. And this is I think the last video. There's images of her in the car, but and then there's the guy Hunter they picked up. That took me forever to do that. I think that's repeated now. So it's just kind of repeated over and over again. I think. Yeah, it looks the same. But see how wildly it's moving around? That means the camera was all over the place. Yeah, so anyways, they were swimming, and apparently after swimming there, let's see, I think even if you go to like 2000, you can see even the trees in the water still where she was swimming. Right there, see that? So when you open that video again, see right there, some branches in the water. And I think those are right here, but you know, obviously they move around a little bit. So there you go. And then after that, they went back probably to Walgreens to pick up the prescription. They may not have even stopped there first. They may have got the Sonic and then went to swim, knowing that they're going to go pick up the Walgreens later. So then they go to Walgreens, and when they get to Walgreens, they pick up the prescription. And I'm not sure if they went over here where they got the milk. You know, it could have been Walgreens too. But it could have also been the store right across the street right here, which is a, food city. So they picked up some milk and then got in the car and drove back. And then during the drive back to the house, that's where this picture comes from. There's people out there that think she's not alive in this picture, but I think she's absolutely alive. I mean, she's sleeping, but just looks like that's an alive person to me. So, she is driven home. And that's when we pick up with that other part of the timeline that we mentioned earlier. Let me go back to it. Right here. Okay, so you got the milk jug right around 2:30 to 3. And then, as I just said, they returned to the Ben Hill property. And then 3:30 to 5:30, that's the planting flowers story. There's never anything specific. So there, the The thing about this story is there is a hell of a lot of like time that you can play with between 3:30 and 6:30, not just 5:30. I mean, how do we know when exactly the planting flowers was? What if it was 3:30? And then she goes inside at 4, and then all of a sudden now you got 4 all the way to 6 before she was reported. So that's one of the things. I don't know if we know for certain the exact time the planting the flowers thing came in. And then Summers reportedly enters the house, the basement area, around 5:30. But, you know, that's maybe you're predicting that 3:30 to 5:30 just as an assumption. Those seems like really, you know, sort of exact time, you know, really too rounded off. Like if you knew the time, you'd say, yeah, she went inside at 5:27 because I remember looking at the clock. Yeah, I do have that one somewhere. It's like a video, but it doesn't really, what Candace said. Yeah, she said something in there. I remember that. But I think she's alive anyway, so I don't need to, you know, I don't need to prove it. I don't have any doubt that she was alive. I'm just saying that there's people out there, they'll do 6 months of videos about how she's not alive in there, and everybody gobbles it up like it's so interesting. And then 6:30, 9/11, 911 call, missing child report. I could probably see if I can find it. Hey, thanks up there to Gloria Batari. Thank you. Let's see if I do the dot. Let me see if I can find that. I have it somewhere. I've got different interviews. So I thought we could play a few different things. I have all their interviews when they were at their house and they were being asked questions. I have I think I have Candace, you know, Candace and Dawn outside the home, and then I have all of those press conferences that they did. What's this one? Let me see. Oh, I think this might be when me and Chasing Truth did something. Now, let's see what this one says. What's 42, though? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. 98. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that. Okay, I'm just looking over here for some of the videos that we were talking. I don't know if I can't find that one that we were just talking about, where they're in the car. I've seen it a million times, and I've seen the video where McDonough asks Candace a bunch of questions at the swimming hole. He took her there. I have that video in this file. I don't think I have the one that we're talking about, though. Summer Wells' interview with Hunter's mom. Summer Wells' interview with Hunter's mom. I think that's audio. All right, let's see. I'm going to just go through and see what they were saying at the time. All right. So we were looking at this one earlier. This is from the 20th. I don't think people were reporting it right away, like on the first day. The last time Summer's parents saw the daughter was in the garden where she was helping her mother and grandmother. According to her father, Don Wells, Summer stepped inside their home before heading downstairs. But, like, how do they know that? Who's saying that she went downstairs? Because we've heard that Candace made sure that she made it in the home, but how does she then know that she went downstairs? Wouldn't that be the boys who said that? What's going on? My drink. I think the straw part came out. Oh, there it is. Jeez. Crazy. It's like 99 degrees over here today. It's ridiculous. In Oregon. And it's Oregon, not Argonne, okay? Ah, that was good. Summer's father stated that she went downstairs to play with her toys. Her mother went inside later, calling for her before heading down as well. So, you know, her mother went inside later and then, hey, Summer, where are you? And then goes downstairs. When she got there, meaning downstairs in the basement, Don Wells said the basement door was unlocked and Summer was nowhere to be seen. So in this version, they're saying that the downstairs door in the basement was locked. And so what that would look like, so here's an image right here. That's the basement door. So if you can see, if you lived up on, the main floor is up there, right? So if you went down a stairway, you'd make it down to this lower level. And here's an actual door that goes into the basement. Right there. And let's see. Okay, so this is her walking. This is where the flowers were. And that's the trailer of the grandmother. And then this is on the right side of the house. And then if you go around the corner there, that's where the basement door is. And then there was a swing set. And where all these are, if we go down to this area right here. Yeah, see right there I have it marked. The swing is right in this area. So it kind of swings down. This Google Earth isn't very good. It's very steep right there, and it didn't capture that. So it's very steep right there. The basement door is right under there. Grandis was right over there, and the front door is right there. But this is what it looked like there. So see that? I mean, the house was under construction. I mean, that's just literally the I'm not even sure what you call it, the wood that's underneath the sheetrock, or the siding. It's just right there. So right where this photo is being taken from is where the grandmother's trailer was and where they were playing with the flowers. Right there. So, this is where she would have watched her go up and then in. So let's go back to that article then. And it says search efforts remain underway since her absence was reported about 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday evening. An Amber Alert was called to escalate the search on Wednesday morning. And the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation told News Channel 11 that investigators are following all leads. Ground crews are currently operating from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And so she's 5 years old, female, white, blonde eyes, blue hair, eyes are blue, blonde eyes, blonde hair and blue eyes, 3 feet tall, 40 pounds, Rogersville, Tennessee, June 15th, 2021. Anyone information regarding Wells' whereabouts is urged to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. All right, that was one of the earlier articles there. And so let's see. We got that one, and then newspapers.com even had stuff in there. So this is on the 22nd of June, and this seems to kind of be where people like seems almost like law enforcement's in this arena now. You know, this is what they think. It seems like it anyways. Human traffickers may have girl, dad says. I mean, what he said originally might even be what it seems like is going on. You know, maybe it's somebody that knew Don Wells or somebody, right? Donald Wells' last memory of his missing 5-year-old daughter, Summer, was dancing with her the night before she went missing. I remember that. Summer was last seen on Tuesday, June 15th at approximately 6:30 p.m. at her home on Ben Hill Road in the Beech Creek community in far south central Hawkins County. The night before, she wanted to twirl, Wells said. She wanted me to hold her hands while she twirled. She considered herself a ballerina or a princess. On Monday, Wells told the Times News that he has believed his daughter was taken from the area since day one of this ordeal. And by the way, you know, the behavior panel and, you know, a lot of different people that have talked to them don't think that they're involved. You know, so if you believe in that kind of stuff, like the body language people, and then I think it was even Dr. Phil, he just goes, yeah, I don't think, you know. And those guys are pretty good at, like, detecting some sort of something. You know, you might not like Don or Candace, but who knows? I mean, I'm just saying my original theory was that there was some sort of a cover-up of an accidental death. But I think it's just as likely that somebody came in and just took her. And I think, here's what I think. I think Summer went inside the home and was down below for a hell of a lot longer than 5:30. Like, she didn't get down into that basement at 5:30. I think she got down there at maybe 4 or something, and was down there for a long time. And then maybe somebody saw her go out the door and play for a minute and then go back inside, and they knew she was there. And they might be somebody that they're familiar with. Something like that. And so she came outside willingly, and maybe even left willingly, thinking this was a family friend of some sort, right? But hey, guys, any chance we could do better than yesterday? We're trying to... My channel donates thousands and thousands of dollars every single month. You know, we are at $298,000 since January of 2020, and your guys' support on the channel allows the channel to survive and us to support various true crime related charities. But where we're at tonight doesn't even allow my channel to survive. So if you guys can please help support the channel, that would be great. We're currently at 1/12 again of a nightly goal. All right, so try to listen to what I'm saying, and let's see if you guys can support the channel. You know, it's probably just whatever a Snickers cost works, you know. Okay, Monday, Wells told the Times News he has believed his daughter was taken from the area day one of this ordeal. Wells said he believes she may have been taken by human traffickers who became aware of her on social media. And that's definitely a possibility. During a conversation with the Times News Monday, Mr. Wells, who is a drywaller, also said he went back to work Monday. He described his family's experiences. Thank you, Alley Cake. Going back to church Saturday, the first time since Summer went missing. Wells also stated that his wife has been very upset by the way she's been portrayed in social media posts. Candace Wells has monitored social media looking for clues. I mean, here's the thing. It's like Candace and Don were absolutely easy targets. I mean, they have a really sort of crappy living conditions for their kids. There's really no way else to, else to say it. It's really sort of like a hoarder slash messy, dirty situation. I mean, maybe kids like that, whatever. But and then not only that, they drank a lot, they argued a lot. It just wasn't a very great situation. But guess what? They are a perfect target for a predator. These people, probably every night they're pounding down drinks. I wouldn't be surprised at all if after Candace, now everybody came back, she did some drinks or, whatever she does. And, she's just not really focused in. I think what we hear sometimes when Candace says, oh, yeah, she came outside, played with the flowers, then I told her to go inside, and then I followed her in to make sure she made it in, because I think that's overselling that you were looking out. I think that's really unrealistic to follow her. These kids just run around. That's how it works there. These guys just zipping around, doing whatever the hell they're going to do. You wouldn't say go inside the house and then follow to make sure she made it inside the house. It's just right there. It's the same place that they've been all the time. I think that she is saying that she followed her over there to, sort of oversell the protectiveness. If that makes any sense. Like, oh yeah, no, we were really looking out, Now, Summer stands about 3 feet tall, and she's 40 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing gray pants and had a pink shirt and might have been barefoot. So let's see. So that's the pink shirt. What did they say? Gray pants and a pink shirt. Well, there you go. Gray pants, pink shirt. And might have been barefoot. Let's see. I knew from the first day, Friday night after the search for the day had concluded, rescuers were called back to the command center at the Mount Carmel Missionary Baptist Church on Beech Creek Road after dark, continued searching well into the early morning hours. Donald Wells said they received some sort of tip, and we see a blue light up. I'm not sure what they're talking about. Blue light up and down Beech Creek, and the helicopter flew until like 4 a.m. looking around. So we're up until 4 a.m. being hopeful that they'd find something, but there's nothing. They've been all through there with a fine-tooth comb several times. I think of Chris Proudfoot, just like Don Wells almost. You've got these people, and just based on their personality, they go online and they're talking, and they don't really realize that the people that are interviewing them absolutely do not have their best interest, nor Summer's best interest at heart. They're just trying to interview them just to sort of get clicks and views and sort of get a gotcha moment. That's all they're doing. So it has nothing to do with anything. I think they're exactly the same. So Wells said his personal opinion is that a human trafficking ring may have her on Facebook and tracked her down. Somebody has taken her out of the area, and I don't know whether it's human trafficking ring or what or who, but I knew from the first day that she wasn't in the area. On Saturday, Donald and Candace Wells and their 3 sons attended their church, the Kingsport Seventh-day Adventist. Donald Wells said, we got there at 9 a.m. and they had a vigil for Summer, and they had all types of pictures up on the screen. All right, what's this? Forecast storms hinder the search. There were still many more questions than answers Monday in the disappearance last week of 5-year-old Summer Wells. One thing rescuers and police could say with certainty Monday is they're not halting the search until Summer is located. We need residents today, tonight, tomorrow, as soon as possible to go back and check their entire property, Lawson said. on Monday, and then outbuildings, barns, and place a child could hide. But why would she be hiding? We desperately need you to do that for us. It's easier for you to check your own property than it is to send officers there. We have not stopped. We've been 24/7 for 6 days now. We desperately need help from the community searching your own property. We've not ruled out an abduction, they say. But they didn't rule that out either. Summer is still missing, and we are more concerned that ever and, I mean then ever? It says that. Ever and desperate to find her. TBI agents continues to work the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI in an effort to determine what happened. All right. So let's see. You know what we should do is play those interviews of what they said. So I think it's these. Let me see. There's like might be 3 parts. Parents full. Okay, this is it right here.
A lot. I know she didn't.
Oh, that's crappy. Let me fix this. It just comes out of one side. Yeah, boy. Thanks, Wild Bill up there. Come on. Jesus. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Hey, you got Jim Lawn, you guys. Thanks, Jim. Jeez. At least somebody thought of helping support the channel other than the same people. Appreciate it. All right, let me get the... I'm going to open this up and fix that audio so it sounds normal. Is it this one? Full. So we got a challenge by Jim Lawn. If 5 people donate... what's going on the screen there? Oh, I see. It's going to do that again. Yeah, this was only coming out of one side. Oops, it's just the left side. Audio channel, left, so it'll sound way better here in a second. We'll make it a little bit louder even. Okay, here we go.
A lot. Oh, she didn't walk away from this property by herself or off this yard by her swing. I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her, has lured her away from here. Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers, and I said okay, and I walked her.
So let's listen to this.
After we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers, and I said okay, and I walked her all the way over to the porch, and I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV.
Okay.
And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer, I'll be back. And within 2 minutes I came back. And I asked the boys where their...
All right, guys, we need 3 more gifted memberships to match Jim Lawn's challenge. That's a good way to help support the channel. We've been struggling again.
Sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom.
So it was the kids in the house. I was trying to remember that. So she didn't see Summer go downstairs. And so a lot of this is really vague. Like, we don't know the precise time.
I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so
Thanks, Jim Lawn. Did we get all 5 of those? 1, 2, no. Thanks, Jim Lawn. But it'd be great if the other 3 of you get those out there, because that's what Jim Lawn's challenge was. So if you guys could help support the channel by gifting 3 more memberships, that'd be great.
I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone. I don't go on walks around here or runs because I'm scared of the bears and snakes and even the coyotes that are around here.
Thanks, Jim.
Well, whoever has my daughter, I pray and hope that they have not harmed her and they bring her back to us safe and sound.
Just go to the FBI, the police, and clear it up.
I mean, when I watch them, I never watch them thinking like they killed Summer. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't ever sound like that.
I mean, I don't know. It seems kind of elusive.
It's really strange that I've never seen this truck, and
Thanks,
I've never heard
Alec.
of it until just recently. But I wish they would come forward and explain themselves.
Wait, what is she talking about?
And they bring her back to us safe and sound.
Just go to the FBI, the police, and clear it up. I mean, I don't know. It seems kind of elusive.
It's really strange that I've never seen this truck, and I've never heard of
that's
it
that red
until
truck.
just recently. But I wish they would come forward and explain themselves. And if you're not a suspect, at least come forward and say what you've seen. She was a tomboy. I shaved my head. She wanted to have her head shaved like me and the boys did.
She tried to shave her head
She tried
in
to
the
shave her
back
head
and make
herself.
it. I think you.
Hey, thank you so much there, Horse Teeth, Cow Teeth. The greatest name in YouTube history. Jim Lawn loves that name.
Can see it in some of the pictures, and it was getting out of control. So we decided to shave her head off and let it grow back long, and she shaved her head so she wouldn't feel bad.
Hey, you know what? Let's play this one first here.
Know what you and your family are experiencing.
Oh, that one's
We're
just as
telling-
bad. That's just as bad. This one is from the 18th. So this one is one of the earlier interviews here with Don Wells. And then we'll go back to that one since that's after. That one was on June 29th. Or at least when I put it out there. So look at that. That one also is only one-sided. I'm not sure what the deal is with these. It's pretty bizarre how they just mono record these suckers. All right, let me make the audio better. Okay, here we go.
Just telling us, kind of what you've been feeling the last few days in the search for Summer. Can you just, let us know what you and your family are experiencing at this time?
We really appreciate that outpouring of love, and never seen so many good people in one place. And we just really appreciate everybody trying to help that they have, law enforcement and all these volunteers that are here. Never seen anything like this.
No, it wasn't headlights. That's the stories people say. I don't know what the reason is, but I think she cut her hair herself and made it really short, but so it wasn't really fixable, so they had to shave it down so it was all the same length. And then that's what Candace did to her hair so that they would look the same.
My entire life. Just pray that God, in His awesome power, for His name's sake, will please let Summer be okay, and please come home.
I can't imagine how you've been feeling these past couple days.
Yeah, it's been rough, but we know, we believe in the resurrection. Never seen so many Christians in one place in my life. Like I say, that's pretty awesome to see that. And I just hope God in His mercies will deliver someone home to us.
Pretty unlikely for something of her to do to walk off like that.
Yeah, she wouldn't do that. We even had one of our neighbors say they pulled up on a drive.
See, here's the thing. When you watch that right there, doesn't that sort of show you that he didn't have anything to do with it? What a great opportunity for him to say, oh, yeah, she wandered off all the time. I mean, my God, sometimes she'd wander off and we'd find her down at the bottom of the hill and we'd bring her back up and tell her not to do it, but she was really curious. He could have easily said that, but he didn't say that at all, you know? Yeah, I've seen that video. Yeah. I mean, just listen to that right there. It's
pretty awesome to see that. And I just hope God in His mercies will deliver someone home to us.
Pretty unlikely for something of her to do to walk off like that.
Yeah, she wouldn't do that.
See, don't you think? Right there. What a great time for him to, like, if he had something to do with it, to sort of put it off onto somebody else. He's literally saying that no, she wouldn't do that. She was abducted.
We even had one of our neighbors say they pulled up in the driveway and she ran to the door. You know, so and we warn her all the time. There's bears and other things that, you know, we try to warn our kids about all these things all the time.
And can you tell us a little bit, you know, what Summer was doing that afternoon or that evening?
She was planting flowers with her mother and her grandmother.
Oh, I see what you're
and
saying.
she wanted to go into the
Wildflowers.
house, so my wife watched her go into the door, and she
All
went
right,
into
let me rewind it. And let's hear what this version of the story is, and then we'll go back and listen to the version that was about 11 or 12 days after this. Okay, hold on.
Afternoon or that evening?
She was planting flowers with her mother and her grandmother, and she wanted to go into the house, so my wife watched her go into the door, and she went into the house, and the boys were on the internet, of course, and she wanted to go downstairs and play with her toys. So when her mother come in, she says, "Where's Summer?" She went down in the basement. She didn't answer, so she went down there, and she was gone. So she went out the basement door, which was unlocked.
I mean, that's pretty amazing. That's really, you know, quickly told story that seems to match perfectly of what was said later.
And we haven't seen her since.
And so then the boys, just when she walked in the house, what about time was that?
I'm not sure. 5:36. I'm not sure.
Not knowing what happened, do you have any kind of a gut feeling about it? Do you have any kind of instinct feeling about it?
I wished I did. Some bad person grabbed her, but we have no idea that the FBI and the police have covered every single base, everything that anybody can think of, they've covered.
So the FBI was there for a long time.
What would you say to people, you know, as you're searching, what are you asking from other people? I know there's so many prayers coming out right now. Is there anything else you want to ask of the community and the public?
I just want to thank everybody for the outpouring of love. That's all.
Is there anything that you'd like to add that maybe we didn't ask you, or?
Not that I can think of, sir.
Have they told you about what they might be trying to do today specifically? Or?
They're still searching. They're doing everything they can. They're doing every single thing they can. We've tried to, you know, we try to go to them with other leads and stuff. And they're like, we've already checked all that out. And, you know, the sex offenders, they've checked all them.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like McDonough and other people think it's like, well, they must have known that she was in the basement, and that makes it less likely that, like, how would somebody have known in that tight window? She goes down there at 5:30, and then at 6:30, she's reported missing, or 6 o'clock. I don't think it's. I think the window's a hell of a lot longer than that. Actually, I think it could be 4 to 6, right? Let me see. So if we look at that same one. Yeah, Summer discovered missing, and then at 6:30, right? So how do we know it was 6 o'clock exactly, right? First of all, so let's say the 911 calls a fixed time. Although 6:30 is likely not the time. I'm sure it's, 6:31 and 17 seconds, something like that, right? But 6 o'clock probably isn't likely. I mean, how, if you didn't call 911 until 6:30, then you don't know it was 6, okay? You don't know that. So it might have been 6:10, right? And then it says 5:30, Summer reportedly enters the house and the basement area, okay? But you said the planting flowers part is such a huge range. It's from, they get home at 3:30, and then they claim that at 5:30 she went down there. But how do we know she didn't go down there at 4? And then it was 6:10 when somebody, saw her in the yard. Maybe they were spying on the home because they knew she lived there, and they were outside watching. And then she goes outside for a little bit, and there's somebody that she kind of knows and goes, "Hey, Summer. Hey, I just wanted to say hi, blah, blah, blah." And then, who the hell knows what happened after that? Definitely could be that is a possibility. I think people are relying too much on this 5:30, and then at 6 she's discovered missing. Don't you agree with that? Like, all of a sudden you're going to say 5:30, she enters the home, and then 6 o'clock she's discovered missing. I mean, we don't have a clue if that's reality or not. That's just what somebody's saying. I think it could be a hell of a lot longer. In fact, it could be like 3:45. I mean, maybe they got home at 3:30. Apparently she's still wearing the pink shirt and the gray pants, and goes over, "Hey, can I get a piece of candy?" And is goofing around with the flowers for a little bit, and then maybe sending, let's just say 4 even. Goes inside and then goes downstairs, and then, I don't know. I don't understand the reasoning, though, unless you had something to do with something that you would change it to make it a later time to 5:30. I don't know where they have, how that's dialed in at all. All right, guys, we're hitting one of those massive lulls again. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, we're currently at not even at a third still. So it'd be great to do better than last night. Let's put it that way. I tried to do something different, talk about cases that are not even in the mainstream at all, and it sounded like this in my head. Right.
Anything that we can cover, they've already covered almost probably
Thanks,
every
Wild
base
Bill
of it.
again.
I mean, we're trying to think and beat our brains out. They've covered everything that we can think of already.
Are they asking anything of you other than just people that you might suspect, or situations you might suspect?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I'm at work all the time. And Candace was on one side of the house when she got gone. That, not even 50, 60 feet away. And we know she wouldn't leave the property. There's no way she would do that.
Have you ever seen anyone in the neighborhood that doesn't belong?
Well, there are, people that come through there looking for drugs in the area.
I've always thought Don, out of the two, seemed to be telling the truth more than any of them. Now, people have tried to, analyze every individual interview and try to twist things around, and he talked to, the problem is when you do too many interviews with too many people and they have agendas, everybody, then you're going to say something, one of them that doesn't jive with another one, and then people jump on that, even if it's just some little small thing that's irrelevant.
And that's probably with any place, but no. They've checked all them things out too. They've got a hold of everybody. They've tracked everybody down that they possibly can. I mean, they've covered all the bases.
All right, so that's about it for that. Let's go back over. Let's go listen to this again.
And they said she went downstairs, Mom, to play.
All right, let's listen to her version again.
I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her, has lured her away from here. Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And
God, I remember that, how she said that. Like, I've heard that so many times. We're planting flowers. Like, you can tell she's on, I think she was on some sort of medication or some kind. I can't remember what it was called, but,
And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her.
So what was that right before that?
We went in after we got done washing our hands, and
Okay, hold on.
by her swing, I feel in my heart that somebody has came up a lot. I know she didn't walk away from this property by herself or off this yard
Also can't.
by her swing.
Don says that.
I feel in my
Yeah, why did she say that about the swing right there? I remember that. I just caught that again. I remember thinking about that a long time ago. Why did she say swing? See, that's what I thought originally, that somehow Summer died regarding the swing. And something happened to her, and then there was a cover-up. Because it's weird. I mean, when did the swing? The swing isn't part of the story, but all of a sudden it's right there at the beginning here. See that? Listen.
property by herself or off this yard by her swing. I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her.
Yeah, but what are you bringing up the swing for? Because you saw her go into the house and go down into the basement, right?
Has lured her away from here. Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And
Wait, so go inside. What is she talking about? Hold on.
here, me and my mother and her were planting flowers.
Okay.
And we went in after we got done washing our
So they went into Grandis's house.
hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma,
So inside of her house. Okay.
and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And I said,
So then she wanted to leave Grandis's house. That I never even actually put that together before. I don't know why, but that's the first time. So she actually was in Grandis's house eating the candy, and then wanted to go back over to visit the brothers back in her house. Okay, so that means we have, let's take a look at so where this camera shot is from, this is at Grandis's house. Okay, and then we know that because that right there is the back of that house. That's right there. I mean, it's a really shitty 3D model, but that's exactly where that is. You can even see the roof right there is right there. And then if we go up in the air, and let's go back to a different time, and that was it, but it left the screen. And look, right there, that's her trailer right there. Okay, so that means they were playing with the flowers. They went inside the trailer here to get a piece of candy, and then she wanted to go back over, Summer did, to go see her brothers in the house over there. Okay. And can you guys even see what I'm looking at? Hold on. Jeez, I knew that was going to happen. All right, let's do this again. I just realized I had that wrong thing on the screen. Okay, so this right here is, I know, I just said that. So look at this right here. This is their home, okay? So I'm going to go up in the air, and this right here is, especially if you go to the 3D model version. Here, watch this. So if you go down here, this is Candace's home, or, Candace and Don's house. And we just froze up. No, maybe not. Well, I think so. Hold on a second. Might take a second. Know what? Know what? Know what? Yeah, hold on. I gotta open up Google Earth again. There we go. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't realize she went inside of Grandis's. It doesn't really matter. It's just, that was just something new to me. I didn't pick that up the first 800 times I've heard that same interview. That's why it's always good to go over something again. Yeah, there we go. All right. All right. So there is the back of the Wells home. See that? And then if you look at this image, that's exactly the same thing. So see that? There is the top. That's right over, I mean, the little, deck cover, whatever the hell you want to call that, right there. And then here's this part of the house is right there, okay? Now, the camper was right here. And then what we'll do is we'll go back, like I tried to show you, but you guys couldn't see a damn thing. And if we go back, there it is. See, this right there is Grandis's camper. They were playing with the flowers right over here, then went inside to get a piece of candy. Then Summer wanted to go back over and see the brothers that were inside the home playing video games. All right? So how about that? Is that good? You guys, does it make sense now? All right. But hey, guys, the channel could use your guys' support tonight. We need to have gifted channel memberships and super chats, etc. And we are basically halfway through the month currently. So at the end of the month, we try to donate thousands of dollars. We're hoping to get to the $300,000 mark at the end of this month. But this month, like last month, has been abysmal. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, a channel that actually goes out and makes a difference, I would appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so we have that. Let's go back and listen to that one more time now.
Up here and took her, has lured her away from here. Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands.
Grandis's house, washed hands.
She got a piece of candy from Grandma, and she...
Yeah, it's interesting that she mentions washing their hands, too. Like, it's sort of, you're trying to... I mean, you could almost make an argument that you're overselling, that you're really, like, like a great mom, and you really take care of and do all these things. Because most people wouldn't even think of that in a situation like this.
She wanted to go back over and see her brothers, and I said, okay, and I walked her all the way over to the porch, and I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV. And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer, I'll be back.
Can you guys quit talking about that something looks like a cellar and all this kind of? It's just it's a basement. You can walk in. There's a door in the back. Sure, it can be a cellar. It could be whatever the hell you want it to call it. It doesn't change anything in the story. Yes, it's a dark, gloomy basement / cellar, whatever the hell you want to call it. It has a crazy entrance where you go underneath an actual, like a wet bar that's got an opening, and then there's stairs that go down. It's hidden. Like, you wouldn't even know that was there. But it's not like it disappears into the ground. You can actually go outside and walk through a door to get into the same spot.
And within 2 minutes I came back, and I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual.
Now I have to go back because I wasn't listening.
And I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV.
Then they said...
And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer, I'll be back. And within 2 minutes I came back, and I asked the boys...
See, you know what's weird, though? It's like I actually think that, even though I have those suspicions on the way she says words and so forth, I think at this point, you have to believe that this is kind of what is being said, right? I mean, what she's saying is likely what happened, and the reason is because at this point, with the kids in foster care this entire time, one of them would have said something like, "No, she never came into the home," and then this would be a totally different story. I think the part that's not here's what it could be, that Summer is missing, right? But to mitigate your responsibility for it, you have to have this tight window where you really were doting and doing these things, and my God, she disappeared, but I was right there, yeah. Instead of saying that, she went downstairs at 4 o'clock, I didn't really know what she was doing, and then at 6 o'clock I asked around and she's missing. All right, so what you do is you start tightening up a time frame to make your responsibility seem less, that you were not irresponsible, that you were basically, you brought her into the house, your own kids saw her go downstairs, and the only thing that's off is the amount of time that she was downstairs. And if you notice, they got home at 3:30, and it was 6 o'clock when she noticed that she was missing. So then you tighten it up and make it be 5:30 when you send her into the home, and then all of a sudden it's just this half hour. I think that there is a hell of a lot more time that Summer was down in that basement area. And maybe she did go to the swing, like, how do we know that she didn't go over to the swing after, and maybe she even glanced over and saw her at the swing after going inside the home. So let's say she goes inside the home and the kids see her go downstairs. And after that, let me show you on the map. After that, she's inside. She goes down into the basement. The kids see her go into the basement. Then she comes out the door that's right there and literally just walks around the house, kind of goes up a hill to the swing right here. And then from there, Candace could probably see, she's over at the swing, and then does her own thing, and then she disappears from there. Not like out of the basement. I think that is something I think that's an actual possibility right there. Like not just a possibility, something that's more likely than some of the other stories. Oh, she was in the basement and the guy came in, and I think she went outside again. And that's why Candace accidentally, or maybe not accidentally, but she mentioned swing in the beginning of this.
Is where their sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, oh.
What do you mean 2 people said boys didn't see? Who are those 2 people? Don said that? Don said the boys didn't see her go in? Who's JSB? Who's that? I don't know who that is.
Okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone. I don't go...
Yeah, they were playing video games, but that doesn't mean they didn't see her. She said, oh yeah, she came in and went downstairs.
Go on walks around here or runs because I'm scared of the bears and snakes.
That is something that we talked about. I remember that. They were playing video games. So did they really see her come in, or was it like she said something and they just sort of knew, were aware that she was in there? I don't know, but if they heard her, that's the same thing, right? I mean,
and even the coyotes that are around here. Well, whoever has my daughter, I pray and hope that they have not harmed her and they bring her back to us safe and sound.
Go to the FBI, the police, and clear it up.
So hey, or GCT 16. Can you explain that better? What are you saying? Like, they're saying that they didn't see her come in, or what?
I don't know. It seems kind of elusive.
It's really strange that I've never seen this truck, and I've never heard of it until just recently. But I wish they would come forward and explain themselves. And if you're not a suspect, at least come forward and say what you've seen. She was a tomboy. I shaved my head. She wanted to have her head shaved like me and the boys did.
She tried to shave her head
She tried
in
to
the
shave her
back
head
and make
herself.
it, I think you can see it in some of the pictures, and it was getting out of control. So we decided to shave her head off and let it grow back long, and she shaved her head so she wouldn't feel bad, and but it didn't bother her at this point. Well, I knew right away that she was abducted. You know, I knew that right away, and that's what I told them from the beginning. But they have to go through their, you know, I forget the word.
Investigation.
They have to do one step at a time, I guess. But I'm sorry that they had to spend so many man hours in these woods and everything. I've seen them limping and everything else, you know, and I feel for them. But I just wish there was a way that neighbors could search neighbors' houses, and then if they're not willing.
I don't want to watch any of them, Billy, because they're all ridiculous. All the clowns out there that interviewed him, you know, they spent all their shows trying to make him look bad. They try to make him feel comfortable so that he would drink and just be like, yeah, those are stupid. Okay, those are worthless. It happens in every case. They don't mean a damn thing. All right. But hey, guys, I need your guys' support on this channel tonight. So who's going to do the next challenge? We need to get 5 gifted memberships or something. We are way behind this month currently. So if you guys can please help support the channel, I would appreciate it.
You know, get a search warrant or something, but there's just no way you can search every single house, you know, in the eastern United States or whatever. But I wish there was a way. Just thankful for the person or persons that's doing that, you know, out of love, and trying to get information and trying to get her found. We thank them from the bottom of our hearts.
That means a lot.
And we thank everybody who's trying so hard and praying so hard. And
yeah, it was
she's
Tennessee.
an awesome young lady, and we just want her back. But, yeah, there's always going to be haters, you know.
And people thought it was creepy that he said awesome young lady. She's a girl, man. What are you talking? It's like, God, give me a break, dude. I mean, people say whatever they say. It doesn't mean anything. Hey, thank you, Slenderella Charming, who said, good job, Gray. He said Summer wanted head shaved like Candace, and then he said she did cut her hair. Oh, well, that part, yeah. Then said he cut her hair, and so they shaved her head, and then Candace shaved her head. Yeah, I remember that one. He said Summer wanted her head shaved like Candace. Oh, it could have been like this. Like, what if her hair's kind of short, and then, you know, I mean, he could have just made a mistake, too, that, you know, Candace shaved her hair to be like Summer's, you know. I mean, I think what we do is we kind of, like, hear something, and then therefore it means something. But people make mistakes when they speak. Could mean something, though. You know? But let me ask you this. What significance does the shaved hair have to do with the case, though? You know what I mean? Like, so let's say he said, oh, yeah, she shaved her hair like Candace did. Oh, and then Candace wanted to shave her hair like hers. And then you think about it and you go, well, what, you know, what about that is a nefarious, that's what I'm saying. So I don't think it means anything. You know, I just think people misspeak. You know, he probably meant to say that, you know, she shaved her hair like Candace, but maybe, or wanted her hair like Candace, but maybe it was Candace wanted her hair like, because that makes more sense, doesn't it? Yeah. But thank you so much there, Slenderella Charming. Yeah.
You know, it's always going to be that way in this world, and we just want to focus on the good friends and Christian people that are trying to help.
I don't know, but lice doesn't have anything to do with the case either. So even if they did make up a story about, oh yeah, she shaved her hair I actually believe the one where she's cut her own hair, and then it kind of makes sense because apparently there is pictures of her running around with sort of her hair kind of cropped, crappy, and then later it's shaved. But here's the thing, who cares? I know, you'd think it would be solved, wouldn't you?
Help us and praying for us and praying for Summer. And we thank them from the bottom of our hearts, and that's the kind of people we try to relate with and socialize with. So we don't know anything about, no red truck, or we hardly know many of our neighbors. I mean,
In the hauler.
because we just try to be around good people. I mean, and we do have good people in this area. We found out since this has all happened. We got some real good neighbors and good folks everywhere. But
The most important thing is to
I
bring.
mean, unfortunately, kids don't get to choose who their parents are, So it's like, Summer may have turned into be like a really, we don't know what would have been, all the other kids have been in foster care for a long time. Yeah, maybe we'll get back to this part later. Let's go back to the, let's just keep playing it. Screw it.
Bring Summer home safe. I'm sorry that you feel this way about us, but
I'll tell you something that I find disappointing is like Nancy Grace just like yesterday did a show as if it was like this breaking news that the FBI is looking into the case, and they're out at 3500 something or other on a street looking at a pig farm or something. And there's no new information at all. That was from November, for God's sakes. I mean, so that's new now? I was kind of surprised. She doesn't do that. I mean, that's like she was pretty good at like putting the pieces in the case together when they were talking. But that's from like 7 months ago. It has nothing to do with anything recent.
we love our children with everything we have.
Yeah, we know Billy. We know Billy.
We've never
know
went
Billy.
without.
You don't like him, Billy. We know Billy.
Thanks to Summer's daddy and my husband. He's always provided for us, and
Yeah, I know. I always say that I always know what holler is from the Loretta Lynn song. And I just talked about Coal Miner's Daughter about 2 weeks ago on the show.
has worked as much as he could and can and still is. And I'm sorry that you guys feel that way, but that's my baby, and nobody would ever treat her like that as long as I was around. Ever.
she loves to dance. She'd always want me. She says, "Daddy, hold my hand so I can twirl," and she would just like to twirl and twirl and twirl till my arm got tired, But I put out there that one of Summer's favorite songs was Godzilla.
No, it's not, Billy. Billy, it's not that, okay? They didn't take away her personality on purpose, Billy. I know you're an expert on the case. You are probably a world-renowned psychologist who works for the FBI. You got it all figured out, but you keep putting comments in there. It's just ludicrous, okay? You don't have any idea about anything. You're just claiming them as facts.
And they say, and they're jumping all over me about past tense was, well, I'm sorry about that. It's just.
She also liked the song by New Breed. It was called House, My House. She sung that a lot of times when I play it on the TV. She loved to dance.
She liked to think of herself as a princess, and and all that, like all young girls do. And
she loved Frozen. She loved to be that Elsa, and
I think she really loved to be in church because she felt a lot of love there. And I think.
Did they determine she was on some kind of some like drugs, like she needed medication for something? I don't remember.
You can't explain what that love is, but you feel it and you know it, when you're young. And she felt that there, and she loved everybody in that church. or she loves everybody in that church. I should rephrase that, because they'll
Yeah, they're in foster care, yeah.
tear that apart as past tense, and I apologize again for that. I hope she gets to come home, you know, and I hope she gets
What do you mean you still think? I don't know what you mean, Deanna. I've never thought they killed her. I always thought that it was either somebody abducted her or that something happened to Summer on the property and that Candace covered it up with her grandmother. That's what I thought. So it's either one of those two.
to be with our church family again.
Our best friend in that church was Robin. She loved her to death.
Yeah, she looked up to
When
women that were.
she come to that church, she went looking for Robin. That was her favorite person.
Any woman that was professional, that
Was pretty,
yeah,
beautiful.
she looked up to those kind of women. She, you know, they were the word I'm looking for. I can't think of it, but she looked up to them.
So basically what he's saying is she didn't look up to you, you know.
She'd give them a run for their money every day. She'd give them a run for their money, and there was times, you know, we'd be, you know.
We know, Billy. I already explained that whole thing earlier, Billy. Try to pay attention, Billy.
That our boys like, don't do this and don't do that. And next thing you know, the stick would come up and just whop them, you know. And it'd be like, Summer, don't do that. You
Summer
know?
was the boss of the family.
She's
She,
typical girl.
when they get out of line, she'd put them in line.
Yeah,
She'd
maybe,
do her
maybe
best.
something like got
She'd love to play in the mud and the water and swing on her swing and enjoy dirt.
When I run the lawnmower around, she would run behind me. When the boys run their bikes around, she, as fast as that little bike could go, she would be behind them running and keeping up with them, no problem, you know.
Yeah, you see that? So it's not like these kids are running around all over the place, right? So it's not like you'd need to follow. I think what's happening here is, again, I would say between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, Summer was unattended by anybody. And what's happening here is Candace realized that doesn't look great for a 5-year-old not to be watching them, so has adjusted the time to 5:30 to when she was brought into the home, and she went downstairs. And then at 6, I mean, 30 minutes later, I was back in there, and she's gone. But I think it's possible she was gone way before any of that. You know, like, I mean, it's possible that at 6 is when she realized she was missing. But I think Summer was taken way before anybody, what she's saying here. This is all estimated time by her. The 911 call is a fixed time. The photograph of Summer in the vehicle is a fixed time with the milk jugs. But other than that, there's no other fixed time, right? Like when I don't think they have surveillance cameras or anything. So when you could probably figure out, okay, this is where that photograph was taken, and it would take this many minutes to get home from that location that photograph was taken. And so then we can then work back and think, okay, the earliest they could have got home would be like 3:36 or something, right? By the way, to drive home from the location that photo was taken. And they get home at 3:36, and then, I mean, I don't know, after that picture that was taken, there's some people that say that they still dropped Hunter off after that picture, or then there's people that say that that's on the drive back after dropping Hunter off. Now, you think that, Billy Badass. Yeah, we covered it just as well as anybody did for months and months and months, and then stopped. Okay.
She loved to run.
You don't have any more information than anybody
she
else.
could pull herself up on that swing, her full body weight with her 2 hands, and she could do that. None of the other boys can do that, but she can.
Was she in school yet?
No, she's going this year.
This was supposed to be her first year.
She's been. We did all the what?
I took care of everything.
Yeah.
I had her already taken all of her shots and registered in the school ready for this year.
I just never expected
Doesn't sound like somebody that you would intentionally like give away or anything.
For anyone to get a hold of my heart like she has, because I try to guard my heart as much as I can, but she holds my heart in her little hands, and I love her with all my heart. I'd do anything to have her back.
Little girl.
If there's any way, if you can find it in your heart to please release her somehow. I don't know how you might do that. I mean, 'cause you're probably scared of going to prison for the rest of your life and everything else, I'm sure. But please find it in your heart, have mercy, and find a way of letting her go, and where we can get her back. And just please have mercy on her, and and us.
Yeah, the photo.
And her brothers.
Yeah, like I said before at the beginning of the show, Billy, you must not have been here, was that the photograph inside the vehicle is the last known image or anything like that anybody has.
She's such
Must
a
have missed
loving,
it yet
good
again.
spirit. Please don't hurt her. Please let her come home. My biggest fear is, her being tormented or locked in a dungeon or basement or something, because she loves.
You mean like your house?
To be outside all the time. That was her. Unfortunately, her downfall. Because a lot of times the boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her out there alone? Go get Summer now." And that's happened over and over.
Yeah, Billy, that's because you're so much better than everybody else. I mean, it's amazing that anybody else was able to. You should write a book. How does Billy do things?
Again, and we'd come out, and she would always be close by, but we was always coming up. She had to be outside. She was an outdoor person, and
She loved to be outside.
Yep. And I'm so afraid that she's locked away. She's such a loving heart and everything, and
Yeah, don't bring up channels like that in here. GCT16. That lady's just one of the worst people that's ever covered true crime. Horrendous. Okay, so don't ever bring that name up in here again. Thank you. Yikes. Wow. Whew. Unbelievable.
I'm afraid that she won't be able to, I'm blocked away where she can't.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody have the time frame on the photograph at 2:30? That's sort of the reality of it, right? Like, that's the last known picture. I'm not mentioning it, Tandy Kane.
Can't be outside or play with a puppy or anything. Love nature, and that's my greatest fear, that she's not able to do any of these things anymore, or that she could possibly.
They just have an estimated 3:30 is when she would get home.
I don't want to think
It's okay, GCT16. I'm just letting you know. You shouldn't trust the hood. That's one of the worst there ever was.
she's dead,
Just a joke.
but it's a possibility. I don't want to address all the negativity. I just want to focus on the positive.
There are a lot of really people might not like my channel, but what you'll get on this channel is going through cases factually, reasonably, with common sense and logical thinking. If you like to watch the channels that have a bunch of people putting out complete bullshit and theorizing with ludicrous theories that have almost no chance of being reality, just for likes, views, and subs, and you go ahead and watch those people. I think it's embarrassing that people don't notice that when they're watching it. Why don't you watch them, and then when the case is over, see how accurate they were. They're not even close, okay? So quit doing it. I don't want to hear about them. It's even some of the big names that cover cases are pathetic, okay? They never get it right, but then they claim some sort of backdoor method, all right? It's ridiculous. So just, if you want a place where we just work through the cases, put it together, and then, whoa, this looks like the reality, then this is the place for you. If you don't want to do that, and you want to just be entertained, then you go do something else.
Her daughter.
It's so easy to get, lost in that negativity and stuff, and it's just not worth it. So I'm just, I appreciate y'all, the good things you say and your prayers. That's awesome.
Hey, Billy, your comments over and over and over again, they're not selling anything to anybody, okay? Yeah.
When my sister,
Yeah, we know that she called Dawn a bunch of times, like, I think it was like 5 something, 6 o'clock. I remember there was actually, yeah, that's out there somewhere. I used to have all of that information.
sister went missing, I was in between Arkansas and Tennessee. I
Yeah,
don't
they like to
know
drink, yeah.
all of what happened or what did happen, but I hope that they find her too and bring her home safely too.
Well, yeah, there's nothing. I mean, she disappeared without a trace. They haven't found anything, haven't found a body, nothing. And you know, when you see cases like that, that's why I lose hope on Summer. You know, I want to keep hope, but sometimes I lose hope.
Lose it.
And I think, well, maybe we won't never see her again, you know. So I start thinking in past tense. Sorry. But I'm trying to keep hope up. I'm trying to keep my prayers up.
That doesn't mean a damn thing, despite what
all
people
that.
say. You know, when people talk past tense, they go, oh, look at, they're guilty. How do they even know? Yeah, bullshit. That's not true. Yeah, it's about 6 miles. Is that what you're talking about? Right from right here where you cut off and go there? Yeah, but we don't know. That's not relevant, really. If we know the time of the photograph, that would make a difference. Okay? Yeah, I'm getting tired of that person. Sorry. All right, let's see. They just keep just rambling on, never replying. It's just ridiculous. I don't want to do it. All right, let's see. I still talk about dead cat in present tense. Yeah, people do it all the time, you know.
Know what you and your family are experiencing. You're just telling us, you know, kind of what you've been feeling.
Yeah, she was great when, you know, because that's what your mindset is, that she's missing, so she's not here anymore. So therefore, it's a was, you know. But hey, guys, I need your guys' support for the channel. We're way behind yet again. Is there any chance that you guys could... We're trying to reach the goals in here, and we're still at 33%. Or like 36% now. But we're just not... people just... I don't know what it is. It seems so different than it used to be. It's wild. All right, I'm going to go back in time here. Here is... Okay, so here's that part. It says, DCS removes Summer Wells' three brothers from her home. So Summer Wells, this is back in July of 2021, so not too long after. It's been nearly 6 weeks since 5-year-old Summer Wells disappeared from her home on Ben Hill Road in Hawkins County. Following her June 15th disappearance, there was a 13-day massive search involving more than 1,100 searchers. Who changed the time on that? Neither the search nor the investigation has resulted in information leading to Summer's recovery or what happened to her, although the police investigation is ongoing. I don't know. Wild Bill. It's like talking to a brick wall in here. Let's see. On Monday, the Times News spoke to Summer's father, Donald Wells, who wouldn't discuss specifics about why the boys were removed from their home by the Department of Children's Services. So this was on July 27th, 2021. All right. Then it seems like, I mean, there's another, 2023, they still don't have them back. Okay, and this is when the pickup truck was mentioned, which is weird because this is after that interview. So it must have already been something that was discussed, but the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is saying the red Toyota Tacoma pickup being sought by investigators in the Summer Wells case hasn't been located, contrary to social media rumors. Okay, so that means they're just talking about an update on it. According to a TBI report issued this week, the investigation into the disappearance of the 5-year-old remains active and ongoing. TBI agents and Hawkins County Sheriff's Office detectives continue to search for a 1998 to 2000 maroon or red Toyota Tacoma with a full bed, ladder rack, and white buckets in the truck bed. As previously mentioned by the TBI, this stems from information investigators received that a truck matching that description was seen in the area of Beech Creek Road and Ben Hill Road in the late afternoon to early evening hours. I think that's like right at the, let's see. This is Ben Hill Road. And then this is Beech Creek, so like right there. There it is. Maroon, red truck, full bed, ladder rack, white bucket. And that was on the 14th or 15th. And it's sort of interesting that people would recognize, oh my God, we don't know who that is. What are you talking about, Karina? Who are you? Who are you? Nobody knows who you are. What narrative? I don't have a narrative. I'm just going with logic, reason, and common sense. That's it. Now, if you want it to be something else, go ahead. You can put your words in here. It's unreal. Here, let me read this one. It says, I guess you're not looking for information. Well, I'm not looking for information from you. I'm reading the information that's out there. You're just looking to spread your narrative. Well, I'm reading newspaper articles and going over the factual information in the case. Everybody should go do a deep dive into this. It's unreal. Okay. You don't know any more than anybody else. Trust me on that, okay? Just trust me. All right, anyways, let's go. Summer was reported missing from her Ben Hill Road residence on June 15th around 6:30. A TBI report states that a photo of what the truck may look like has been circulating on social media, as have claims that the vehicle has been found. This is not accurate, the TBI said, and that photo was not released by law enforcement. The TBI also reported that individuals are asking for donations under the pretense that they are assisting law enforcement. All right, there's that one. Then in March of 2022, TBI conducts planned search for Summer, because I think what happened was it was during the summer months, and so the trees are lush and full, so they waited till, I think they did a search in the fall, and then in early spring, early spring, right, when the leaves are still off the trees, and you can see a lot better. You can, Karen, are you trying to be like a troll? Because that's what you come across as. Your first comment in here was bitchy and stupid and embarrassing, and now you're in here complaining that people called you out on your bitchiness, okay? Yeah, that's your problem, nobody else's. Yeah. Grow up. This isn't your channel. We've been doing this show for a long time, and we just don't need people like you coming in here, stirring up and trying to create problems because you think you just know everything so much better than everybody else. Right. Summer disappeared from her family's Beech Creek home on the afternoon of June 15th without a trace. Hundreds of law enforcement officers from across the region and state spent weeks conducting extensive searches. So they were looking again in March. And then we have this here. 1 year later, the search for Summer Wells continues. We have right here, June 15th, Summer Wells is reported missing around 6:30. That's not really a great timeline, because the timeline that matters is the day leading up to the time she was reported missing. the time she was reported missing is just a sort of a factual element of when the phone call was finally made to law enforcement saying, hey, my daughter's missing. Okay, that's it. June 17th, the search expands for a 1 mile radius. June 18th, search grows to 41 agencies. The 22nd, Kingsport man offers $25,000 reward. June 26th, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation looks for red Toyota pickup seen in the area where Summer disappeared. Yeah, Jesus. They look everywhere, Karen. They look everywhere, okay? Summer's brother are removed from the home on July 26. October 31st, Don Wells is arrested for driving under the influence. November 11th and 12th, Don and Candace Wells appear on Dr. Phil's show. Dr. Phil says he doesn't believe the couple hurt Summer. November 30th, see, that's the thing. That's where my theory is that maybe like 50% of a possibility. I have two theories: that she was just abducted during a window of time, or that she died on the property accidentally, and Summer and her Candace and her mother covered it up. And there was plenty of time in between there to drive for 30 minutes or so and then turn around and come back. So she could be, 30 miles away somewhere. Or, 20. Yeah, it's just the way you keep interrupting and just kind of, you want your narrative out there, Karen. You're putting stuff out there that's just sort of, you know what you're doing. Don't try to pretend. I mean, we all saw it. Okay. Let's see. February 4th, Summer's 6th birthday. Don Wells is sentenced to 11 months and 29 days in jail with the possibility of probation in 180 days. Wow. Did he serve that time too? I think he did. I can't remember that. Yeah, and there were those weird phone calls. Remember that? HCSO and TBI conduct a planned search in the Beech Creek area. The 1-year anniversary is June 15th. Ah, jeez. Here we go again. Yeah. All right, let's see. We've got... Okay. Let's get rid of that one. Move on to the next one. Another one from the same day. Thanks, Lori Bach. Where's Summer? This is June 12th. That's the 12th that I thought my brain picked up earlier. Nearly 1 year later, let's see what this article says. On June 15th, 2021, around 6:30 p.m., 5-year-old Summer Wells was reported missing. Over 120 teams, including members of the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and Churchill Rescue Squad, searched a large area surrounding the Summer Wells Beech Creek home for 13 days. The entrance to the house's long driveway was roped off with crime scene tape, and emergency personnel roamed the woods. Now, 1 year later, the house that used to be the home of a family of 6 looks like a shell of its former self. The driveway leading to the house is almost eroded away. As you trek up the hill towards the home, forgotten toys like Jeeps, bikes, push cars, now covered in grass and vines, lines the dirt road. Near the top of the hill, you step on the carcass of a buried doll. Then you see the house. Part of it is covered in yellow siding, while the rest is exposed plywood. The yard is full of old vehicles and miscellaneous items. When you leave the house and approach the entrance to Ben Hill Road, you see a missing child signs with Summer's picture. Tim Coop, captain at the Churchill Rescue Squad, asked the incident commander of search operations for 10 of the 13 days. This role included managing and directing search operations, as well as working with other organizations to ensure that they had the necessary resources. Let's see. Coop said the search efforts were very time-consuming and difficult for the searchers due to the extremely dense canopy. That's exactly right. That's why you have to do it in the fall or spring. With the excessively deep terrain. The search effort utilized several different specialized teams, including canine, aerial, by helicopter, fixed-wing drones, and dive teams. There was a large amount of different levels of resources used with each one and had different key things that ultimately would lead to finding Summer Wells. Coop said they had received lots of responses from the community in regards to Summer's disappearance. From the response that we received by donations from the community, it heavily impacted our community. It heavily impacted the responding agencies, also from all over the nation and world. We have received thank you messages from people all over the world. Let's see. So basically, I mean, they don't really give you any factual information there. And then 2023. And so look at DCS still has their kids. And we're talking, this is like 2 years later, a year and a half. DCS has kidnapped our boys, parents of Summer Wells says. The parents of Summer Wells have raised concerns online about being kept from contact with their sons. I mean, that's sort of interesting that you can't contact them. And that's what makes you wonder, does the FBI and investigators want them to be separated to see what they might say at a certain point? Who knows, right? Yes, we don't know. Summer, who was 5 at the time, was reported missing on June 15th. Summer, who was 5 at the time, was reported missing on June 15th, 2021. Her 3 older brothers were removed from the home by DCS over a month later, around July 26th. At the time, no exact reason was given for the removal. However, Summer's father, Don Wells, mentioned in an interview at the time that his home wasn't safe due to the increased public interest in the case. Well, probably that it also doesn't have siding on it, that it's dirty as hell. You've got like a trap door that goes into the basement. Yeah, to be honest with you, if any of these kids landed in a decent foster home, they're in a better place. Okay, I mean, that's just the way it is. We've heard nightmare stories of, like the Turpin case. You remember that one? Where the kids in that case were starving to death for a long time. They just had no food, and eventually when it was all discovered, they put the kids with foster parents who were abusing them. I mean, I think that those people should be executed. I do. I think it's sort of like this double, like you say to them, you're going to be the foster parents. If we hear of any form of abuse, I don't know, man. Those are the worst people in the world. They should be executed. Just think about it. You have these people that have been tortured for years. That'd be like, the concentration camps. There's some survivors. And then you have them live with people, and those people treat them horrendously and abuse them too. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I don't understand that shit at all. So I think in this case, it's highly likely that they're in a better place than they were, right? I mean, I'm sure it was really fun when you were a kid to run around and play and stuff like that, but just the sort of irresponsibility of the whole thing, it wasn't good. Well, we had Lori Bach, Shake My Head, and Wild Bill way up there. But hey, guys, we're just absolutely struggling again. Right now we're at 15, halfway through the month, and we're trying to get to a point where we'll be able to reach the $300,000 mark. And the channel survives by the people watching it sending in channel memberships and super chats, etc. So if you have the ability to do so, I would appreciate it. I know the times aren't great right now, so if you can't, then that's okay. But if there's people out there that can, that would be great also. So anyways, DCS has them. Summer Wells and her brother are shown at church in Kingsport in this undated photo. Summer was 5 when she was reported missing from her Beech Creek home on June 15th. I mean, he's got his hair shaved too. Look. 2021. TBI spokeswoman Leslie Earhart said Wednesday that the investigation into her disappearance is continuing, but no new information is available. So this is the 3rd year on this one. So this is 2024. Saturday marks 3rd year since Summer Wells disappeared. So looking back, 5-year-old Summer Wells missing on Tuesday, June 15th, after last being seen near her home in the Beech Creek area of Hoxton County. Less than 24 hours after her disappearance, a statewide Amber Alert was issued. At least 10 agencies were involved in the search for Summer. By day 2, the search had expanded to a 2-mile radius on ground and a 4-mile radius on the air, Leslie Earhart, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation spokeswoman, said at the time. In the next week, Don Wells, Summer's father, spoke up for the first time. He speculated she had been taken on. That's the one that we showed with him and his son. She was taken on day 1, most likely by human traffickers. She would never leave there on her own, he said. In the months following, the community was supportive of the family and the search for Summer. The TBI received 715 tips, all from YouTubers who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Wow, that's weird that they would put that in there. She was reported missing. One man in Kingsport offered a $25,000 reward for anyone who had information leading to finding her. Yet there continued to be no success in the search. A year passed. In June 2022, Earhart expressed disappointment. We expected to have good news to report by the time the next media briefing came around. She said, unfortunately, instead, day after day ended in frustration and disappointment. In June of 2023, Don expressed his gratitude to everyone who was supporting his family. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the TBI, released a video regarding Summer on Friday. Yeah, so, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's weird how little sort of, at least public progress there's been. And then this is the last sort of major update, which apparently Nancy Grace just heard about yesterday. But it says, more than 4 years after Summer Wells was reported missing from her home in the Beech Creek community in Hawkins County. And by the way, the FBI has been working with these guys the whole time, since the beginning. It's not new. Confirmed the case is far from cold. A TBI spokesperson said, agents along with Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI continue to investigate what happened to Summer. On Thursday, November 13th, the TBI and detectives were at a location in the 3500 block of Van Hill Road in Greenville, following up on a lead in the case. That area is about 9.5 miles from Wells' family's home. News Channel 11 followed up with the TBI, asking if the agency could provide details about the nature of the tip, if anything had been substantiated from it, and how long it had been since agents followed up on a similar sort. By the way, are you guys still here? It just, your chatting is just slowed down to a trickle, and that's when it just starts crumbling away. So if you guys could please chat. We also need, as I've been said about 50 times now, the support from the people watching. And that's the only way that we're able to reach our goals and to survive as a channel. There is no ad revenue on these live streams. So, and everybody knows that it's very little unless you've got thousands of people watching at a time. If you don't, it just doesn't work. Yeah. All right. So the location is out here. Right here. And so it was sort of interesting how this works. So watch when you put in 3500 Van Hill Road. They have it right here, okay? That's where they say 3500 is. And then if you go 3600, it's pretty consistent. You go 3600. That's how you can tell. Okay, there's 3600, and then 37 is going to be over here. But that's not accurate for some reason. Like Google Maps, let me show you Google Maps here. I'll go to the same spot. I think that's it right there, right? Is that the... Yeah. So there's that little pond. It's a different... See that spot? Same place. Everything's the same. Looks like they built something in there or took something away. But if you zoom in, and you go back to that first spot, for example, where 3500 is, which is right over here. So that would be just a little bit down the street. Yeah, there's that little side road, and then here I'm just going to... That's hard to see when it's not the same coloring. I think it's right there, is that right? Oh no, so it's there. So 3500. They got it up the street a little bit. Yeah, so they have 3500 right here. See that? That's the same spot. It's just mine's zoomed out, but see, that's the same, right? So they have that at 3500, but when you go down to the homes here, that says 2951. Well, that's not 3500. That says 2951. Then you go to this house over here, and that one is 3202. Okay? So then it's like, well, how is that 3500 then? And then you go over here, and this one is 3400. Okay, so then I went over here, and this one is, I think it's right there. This one is 3537. It's the only one that was in the 3500 range, and it turns out that is the house that they were looking at. So it's right here, but that's definitely not in the 30, you know, like, it is 3500 if you go by their address, but Google Earth and Google Maps both have it incorrectly marked on Van Hill Road. All right, who's going to do a challenge in here for me tonight, you guys? We're really struggling again. Yeah, it's obviously it's not something people are interested in supporting the channel on again, Lisa. So, yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to go over, but it's pretty bizarre. And what McDonough is claiming and other people are claiming is that this somehow is a pig farm that maybe Summer was fed to the pigs and eaten. I don't know if that's why the FBI was there or not. You know, we don't know that. Okay? We don't know. But a challenge would get us to around 60 or about 55%. So if we can get one of those, that'd be great. Okay, so that was that one. And then we have a story from this year. You know, they're saying that's what she might look like today. Summer turns 10. That's kind of weird to think about that, you know. But 10's still really young, too. So Summer 10, still missing after 5 years. Wednesday was Summerwell's 10th birthday. She's still missing after nearly 5 years. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, alongside the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and FBI, continues to investigate the circumstances of Wells' disappearance. So they always start with this 6:30 part. I don't know why they do that. Hey, we got a challenge by Lisa Valenzuela, you guys. So 5 of you give 1 channel membership. She'll donate 5 memberships, or in terms of, I think she'll do coffees instead. On her own. That'd be great. Thank you. The Churchill residence squad agreed. Let's see, what is it saying here? Oh, that's the reward. I don't know. Let's see. Let me go to A2 and see what they have on this. Summer. Yeah, it's just talking about rewards and things like that. So let's take a look at some of these pictures. So that is Candace. I guess her mother's name is Candace's mother's name is Candace. You almost never see that, by the way. That a daughter names her daughter the same as her. What's 777? Thank you, Wild Bill Wassman. So this is where the mother, Candace claims, and so does Dawn, that they were, over here. Then they must have went inside of playing, I guess, playing with the flowers or planting flowers, and then went inside here to get a piece of candy, and then they came out this door, and then after coming out that door, let's see, it probably looks like this. She then walks, see there it is right there. That's a good way to look at it. So there's the door, and then she would have walked over like this and went inside the home. And I guess that's another shot of it right there. Thank you, Karen777.
I'm on the right account now, lol.
All right, we got 3 of them. We need 2 more. Yeah, that's right what it looks like right outside of her, out of the basement door. Like if you open the basement door, that's what it looks like. So like there's a bus back there and a couple trucks. And so if we, yeah, that was it. Zoom in right here. And that bus and everything is right there, right underneath there. Okay, so the basement door is right there, so you come out and just to the left is that. Or, down, well, let's see, is that right? Let me look at the way that looks. Yeah, I think that's right. Let me move it to the most latest. I was taking, you can see the dirt road, but it kind of almost looks like it turns left right there. So that might be further around. Sorry about that. It could be that's right over here, now that I think about it. Yeah, that might be right there. Let me see if I go forward in time, or see if I can find one in like a month where it's clear. Oh, that one's really clear. Look at that. That one's 2012 though. And so look at the difference. They ripped off this whole part of the house right there. That's too bad. You can't see it. Those 2 trucks. That's 2015, 19, and then it goes all the way to 2025. There's no in between. Yeah, I don't know. That's somewhere, either way, it's right around there where all the buses are and everything. The bus and the trucks. All right, guys, we still need 2 more gifted memberships to reach the challenge. And that's a little thing that goes underneath the house. The basement, the door is right to the left there. And that's like a quality picture of the garden. And yeah, see, I think this is right outside right outside the basement door. So I remember how they went down there.
Lisa V, heart emoji.
Hey, thanks, Karen. So that's a great photograph right there. You know, this one really shows kind of the whole thing. Like there is where Grandis lived. And so you can almost see, like if you're standing down here, you could see it there. But here is, I just have a hard time. I think even if somebody, I don't know. I guess if you're standing over there around the corner, you can't see somebody over here. This would be a great place to have brought a 360-degree camera. I mean, it would have been, you know, just awesome to be able to be right here and then look to your left and right and see. But this is the basement door right there. And this over here is Grandis's, I don't know what you call it, the trailer, whatever. And I guess there is a dog right there. I think it was McDonough said he saw like 13 dogs when he went there. And you would think if some stranger showed up that some of the dogs would be barking, wouldn't you think? And nobody ever reported that part. The swing is just right over there to the left. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think it's more of a... Let me just do a poll.
Lisa V, heart emoji.
There we go. All right, here we go. There's your poll question. Hey, thanks again there, Karen. Very kind of you. Thank you so much. I think a lot of the new people that watch don't realize what we've done over here. Okay, so listen, you guys. When I'm doing my show, yes, I do say, hey, everybody, you can help support the channel. And yes, it does get frustrating when people aren't doing that. Because over the years, check this thing out. We've given over $115,000 to a scholarship fund not scholarship fund, to a DNA fund for identifying Jane and John Doe's, and we've identified, I think, 7 people so far using that fund, and there's still money sitting in there, but we keep adding to it. We also have a scholarship fund where we gave 2 $3,000 scholarships to students in the criminal justice world. Then we gave out another $6,000. This time we did 3 $2,000 ones in the criminal justice education world. And then we gave out another $6,000 with $2,000 to 3 students. And now we're on our 4th round where that's $24,000. And then we are building up on the 5th, which gets us up to $30,000 that we'll have given out. But we've given out so far $24,000 in scholarship funds to students. Then we've given a total over $100,000 to RAIN, NCMEC, and Texas EquiSearch. So over $30,000 to each one of those 3. Then we've given Wounded Warriors money. We've done it all. So when you're sitting here wondering, my channel actually makes a difference in the true crime world. Not only do we cover cases factually, logically, reasonably, we also give back and make a huge difference out there. Unlike every other YouTube channel that you watch. They just sit there and stare, make up shit for you, and then everybody goes, ooh, super chat, this is so fascinating. And it's all bullshit, every bit of it. So there you go, everybody. That's the difference between my channel and theirs. You can watch theirs if you want, which apparently you guys do. But It's absolutely crazy. We make a huge difference here. So if you have the ability to help support the channel, that would be fantastic. Be part of the goodness. All right. Yeah. So I wanted to go. Let me just look at these photographs in order here. And thanks, Lisa Valenzuela, for the coffee. Yeah, that's it. Just that coffee on other than YouTube. All right. So that's her apparently on the drive home. Actually, I think this was that's right. This is in the driveway at Hunter's place, I think, right? Wasn't it? Like they dropped him off and they're in the car. Okay, and then again, these are just random photographs. There's no rhyme or reason for them. But I thought they were interesting. There's this shed. I don't know if you remember that, but McDonough said that that Summer is likely in one of these sheds in a dungeon underneath the shed. You know, I didn't agree with that. I didn't think Summer, was in a dungeon underneath one of the sheds. All right, and here is the wood where they were doing construction on the home. The house is just literally a dilapidated shack. It's just... Man, there's a picture of Summers. You know what she reminds me of here? She looks just like... Here, I'll show you this. It's kind of weird because it's a guy, but it's just somehow... It looks so similar, in my opinion. Here, hold on one second. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe you guys will see the same similarity. But this guy right here. Charlie Bucket, you know? You see that? That look on the face? I don't know what it is, man. For some reason, Charlie Bucket reminds me of that picture right there. Every time I see that one, I go, oh, that's Charlie Bucket. It's funny. So you got that one, and then you go like that. Oh, and here's the swing. It's on the other side of the house there. And there it is again. So that's something I always thought maybe had something to do with it, right there. That swing. Why did she mention that? Again, let's go back to that very beginning in here.
A lot. I know she didn't walk away from this property by herself or off this yard by her swing.
Why'd she say that? That swing comment. I know she didn't walk off this property. Let me hear it again.
I know she didn't walk away from this property by herself or off this yard by her swing.
She didn't walk off this yard by her swing. Her swing's over here. You know, so... you still can't see it. If you're standing up, well, you can because that's an open area. So you'd be able to see underneath it. Let me see. I think I had a picture of that. Yeah, right here. Yeah, so the swing is on this tree right here, right? And then, so Grandis's trailer is just off to the left, just slightly over here. So you could still see that swing over there. So why would you say that? That means you'd be able to watch that. Yeah, by her swing. I know it says by her swing. I just don't know. That's the only swing that's there, I think. Yeah, I forgot a lot of this stuff. It's just sort of, the main stuff I remembered, but all right.
I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her, has lured her away from here. Me and my mother and her were planting flowers.
Planting flowers. Went
And
inside.
we went in after we got
They
done
went
washing our
inside
hands. And
Grandis's
she got a
trailer.
piece of candy from Grandma.
Give a candy.
And she wanted to go back over and see her brothers.
Wanted to see her
And I
brothers.
said, okay. And I walked her
Back over to the house.
all the way over to the porch. And I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV. And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer. I'll be back. And within 2 minutes, I came back. And I asked the boys where their sister was. And they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom.
Yeah. See, does anybody really, let me just say this. Does anybody believe that she went back 2 minutes later because she was that concerned? Man, these kids are just allowed to run around. You know it, right? I mean, these kids are either playing video games or running around on the property, but don't go too far. Stay on our property. You know, they're running around. Do you think that she would literally go 2 minutes later, go back to say, hey, where is she then? I don't know, man. There's something right in that little moment there that is, I mean, it's not like something happened to her in that moment. I mean, it's possible, but I think it's more like there's this huge gap of time where she was not paying attention to where Summer was and is trying to cover up that element for CPS reasons. She doesn't want her remaining kids to be taken, and they eventually got taken. So her fear was realized exactly. I think some of her statements are self-serving in terms of trying to make it seem like she was more of a doting parent, or really like Hawkeye, what do you call those? Like helicopter mom-ish, like she's really focused in on making sure everybody's safe at all times. And so that's why she narrows it down dramatically. And then, I went back in again 2 minutes later, and then she said she went downstairs, but I didn't go check. I just believed what my kid said. But why did you need to do that? Like, you dropped her off and said, hey, watch her, and then 2 minutes later, you got to say, where is she? And then, I don't know. Let me hear that part again.
And within 2 minutes, I came back. And I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere inside.
So that's at 6 o'clock. Okay, so it wasn't, see, that's the thing, it's like, okay, now she's saying that at 5:58 is when Summer goes into the home, and then 2 minutes later she went back and then said, oh my God, where'd she go? Downstairs? Oh, and then called her name and she didn't show up. So that already automatically then changes the timeline. So now there's even less time. I mean, 2 minutes later. So see how this is all different here? So it's changed now to where there's just 2 minutes of time where she wasn't aware. She was, listen to that again. I didn't pick that up the first 50 times I listened to this. But now she's making it so there's only 2 minutes of missing time. So basically what she's claiming is that Summer disappeared in a 2-minute window, which absolutely isn't reality. Right? So, let's listen.
Is where their sister was, and they said...
Okay, go back.
All the way over to the porch, and I watched...
So she walked her all the way over to the porch.
Watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV.
So I watched her go in, into the kitchen, and the boys were watching TV in the kitchen too.
And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer.
And I told the boys, hey, watch Summer.
I'll be back.
Yep.
And within 2 minutes, I came back.
And then 2 minutes, she came back. So she was with her. She was, thank God. So she was with her, and then 2 minutes later, she came back.
And I asked the boys where their sister
go?
was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always
Yeah,
answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere.
Right.
And
So that's now she's reduced it to 2 minutes. That literally, there's just 2 minutes of time. So that means she's inside the house. She sees her go in there. The boys said, "Oh, she went downstairs," and then she goes inside the house where the kids are playing, video games. And then 2 minutes later, she walks back over. They said, "Oh yeah, she went downstairs," and she's nowhere to be seen. That's almost impossible. That would mean, like that is what McDonough says. He says that the person would have to know that she was going to be going down there. I just think the more logical explanation is that she's trying to appear to be a much more concerned parent than she is. Don't you guys think that seems more likely? Like I think that she made it home at by 3:30, like they say, and I don't know if any of the other stuff is true at all. The part about getting a piece of candy, or playing with the flowers, any of that stuff. We don't know if any of that's reality, But she has now made it so that there's a 2-minute window. Of course, when you say she literally said, didn't she say the word 2 minutes, not...
then they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys. Watching TV. And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer. I'll be back.
Yep.
And within 2 minutes, I came back.
Within 2 minutes, she came back. Right? Within 2 minutes, she was back there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, okay, 2 minutes, maybe she meant 10. But that's still ludicrous, right? I mean, how in the hell is somebody disappearing in that little bit of time? I think the kids have the answer somewhere. They're the only ones that would be less or not biased. I would actually really try to get the older son. I mean, they have them. I'm sure they've interviewed them, and they have stuff that they've said written down. I don't know about that, Shadow. I just think that they're trying to make themselves appear more, or she is anyways. And I think he's just repeating what Candace is saying, because he wasn't there. Okay? I think that she's just, I think her and her mom came up with, I don't know, shit. I mean, it could be that they're all saying the same script to just make themselves appear to be, I don't think, but here's the thing, is I don't think they have something to do with the reason Summer is missing. They could, but when you just listen to them talk, they don't seem like that, And I've seen them interviewed multiple times, and they just seem like, they're just not the greatest speakers in the world, etc. And then people just rail on them because they haven't really provided a great home for their kids. But you guys, right now we're at about 50%, just barely over 50% of a goal. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, we could use a challenge in here. We need like one. If we got 2 more challenges for the show, we'd be right there. Okay. So we need 2 challenges. We can get that. We might get close to the goal. All right. I don't know if that interests anybody, but it never does.
And I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Yeah.
And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times.
Summer.
And I didn't get no answer.
No.
Which was unusual because usually she always answers.
Let me go down and check.
And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone. I don't go on walks around here or
I wonder what they cut out there.
runs because I'm scared of the bears and snakes.
But apparently the door was unlocked, they say, downstairs. But I would say without a doubt that she lost track of Summer hours before she's saying that. And I think the kids don't know what time it is. They're relying on the kid. They're not looking at a clock. So they're going to say whatever, they're just going to go, I don't know, it might have been 5, might have been, when asked later. They're not looking at a clock. They don't have a wall clock in the house. None of those kids are going to have a watch. None of them are going to have a cell phone. And so they don't know what time it is when they're playing their video games, right? They're just playing the video games.
And even the coyotes that are around here. Well, whoever...
What's this one?
To go back and their days. We never know who was going to be in that area.
Officials say they're still looking for a red Toyota truck as a possible witness. If you have any information, you're asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. They're asking for credible information, not rumors.
That's right. So YouTubers, no. Let's see what this one is.
You're going to hear from Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, followed by Captain Tim Coop with the Churchill
This is June 21st of 2021.
Rescue Squad. Summer is still missing, and we are more concerned than ever and desperate to find her. TBI agents continue to work with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI in an effort to determine what happened to Summer. We are utilizing all available...
Wait, hold on. I've got these other ones. Let's go in order here. I've got this one. You guys want to listen to some of these?
Statewide Amber Alert.
Uh-oh.
She was last seen outside of her home
That's not going to work, but we can fix it. Put it right over here. Wait for it to kick in. Audio, yeah, it looks like channel, is that right? Yeah. Then audio gain, probably 10. How about this?
The Beech Creek community of Hawkins County.
Better.
A family member reported her missing to the Hawkins...
It's a pretty weird sound, like kind of...
Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at approximately 6:30 Tuesday evening. At the time she went missing, Summer was reportedly wearing a gray pants and a pink shirt. She is believed to be barefoot. We do want to encourage the public, especially residents living in the area of Ben Hill Road, to check any trail cameras or security cameras that they might have that could have captured Summer on video or in photographs. We also encourage residents to check any crawl spaces, outbuildings, or sheds that would make for good hiding places. As we mentioned, the search is ongoing. There are a number of agencies involved. I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Ronnie Lawson to talk more about the search and the conditions that authorities are up against. Sheriff?
Thank you. It's been a very intense 21 hours.
This guy's like the classic sheriff, you know.
A lot of searching, a lot of investigation by 19 different agencies. Last night, we had approximately 60 to 80 people searching in the woods, with a number of law enforcement officers doing the investigation also. Today, we've had over 100 people in the woods searching throughout the whole region. We also have agents,
yeah, we know that.
TBI.
We covered that whole thing, GCT16, a long time ago. It's not related, though.
The FBI assisting my office are we jointly investigating this whole circumstance. Our main goal is to find Summer and find her safe. We have plenty of help. We don't need...
I gotta tell you, it seems crazy that this has been 5 years. It seems like maybe 2.5, maybe 3, possibly, but 5, jeez.
Any assistance from the local people, we have the professional people out searching, and we just appreciate everybody, their contributions. It's been a tremendous outpour from the community with the water, the food, and the snacks. It's just overwhelming, and it's very intense investigation. I know the public needs to know things, but it's ongoing, and we will release things as we can when we can. Our main goal right now is to find Summer.
We'll take a couple of questions, but keep in mind we can't discuss specifics of the investigation. Can you provide an area back here?
Absolutely. It's very dense. The terrain is tremendously hard. We have virtually no cell phone service. The radio system we use, which is not that good, we have very little radio communication. We do have several command posts setting up, but it's what makes it so hard is the communication between the boots on the ground searching the woods and the different agencies and officers, and it's very hard to communicate. And we're not like we're in these small towns or in towns where you got a lot of cell service, and just for instance, when we get texts from the media, you may text and we may get it an hour later, and we have no way to reply to it. And the same way with the officers, and the ECOM Central Dispatch has done an excellent job. TBI has their command post that should arrive soon, and we're going to continue on until we find Summer and put this case to rest.
Do you believe there was foul play involved, and is there any history of this family?
The family are cooperating, and it's really too early to tell. We're still basically just gathering information, and we're in the search mode right now.
Around 11 this morning, it's switched from missing child alert to an Amber Alert. What goes into the decision of putting that Amber Alert out? Can you clarify the difference?
Sure. After the initial search and as we developed more information as part of the investigation, our team
it's just not related shadow aspect.
made the decision to elevate the alert to an Amber.
Totally different scenario. You seem like a conspiracy
An
theorist.
endangered child alert is a mid-level alert where a child could potentially be in danger. An Amber Alert is, we issue those when we believe a child is in imminent danger of bodily harm or death, and it's the most severe alert.
Since it appeared to be that she walked away from her home, why was it upgraded to an Amber Alert? Can you clarify that just a little bit more?
Well, the bottom line is we don't know where she is at this time. Again, there was the initial search. We acted, and the Sheriff's Office acted on the information available at the time. And as we learned more in the first several hours into today, it led us to issue an Amber Alert.
Well, when the Amber Alert was issued, you said there was new information that led you to believe that Summer might be in more danger. Can you expand on that a little bit?
I can't. That's part of the investigation.
Sheriff Lawson mentioned earlier that he's asking the community folks that you have enough resources here.
It's not a red flag according to law enforcement.
What's your message to the community that they feel like they want to help in some regard? How can they help?
That's what you believe.
If they see something or know something, they need to tell somebody. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people don't want to get involved. They want to reply to us or respond anonymously. That's fine, as long as we find Summer. That's the main thing right now. And we're talking about the Amber Alert. When they raise that up another level, that helps more people paying more attention. You get more clues, you get more calls, and then everybody can call that 1-800-TBI-FIND, and it all goes into a database, which helps us in an area where we don't have a lot of communication anyway. So TBI helps us with that.
And we know the FBI was called in fairly early. Can you kind of explain why that decision was made?
Well, we have an excellent relationship working together, and just like if this case stems outside of Hawkins County, then you have the TBI to help with that. But if it expands on out past the state of Tennessee, then you got the FBI. So we're all on the same page, and we just keep on going. We're just working together as a team. All have the same goal. Let's find Summer.
One more question.
Can you expand on maybe just the area where you guys are searching? If people see something in a certain area, they should be on a heightened alert for a certain area or part of town.
Sure. Can you expand on that?
Well, the terrain and stuff is like you see here. This is what the people are searching in. But if they seen something yesterday evening or afternoon that we need to know, that's when they need to make the call or come by the command post.
Any kind of landmarks and sort of an area of your services?
Just around Ben Hill Road in that area. That's the main, because she's 5 years old and she left the house, and evidently she got a little farther than they expected.
Do you have any idea how much territory your volunteers and searchers are covering?
A lot. We have so many out there that they've broadened the scope. Plus, we've been able to utilize aircraft. THP's been wonderful with their helicopter and the medical helicopters with THP's.
Yeah. All right. So look at this right here. So I found this a long time ago, but I just found it again. I did I think a little bit on this a long time ago, but here it is. Authorities are looking for a 21-year-old Western Wisconsin woman who has been missing for nearly a week. Rosemary Bly, 21, of rural St. Croix Falls, was last seen August 21st leaving her home. Bly's husband told the Polk County Sheriff's Department. She was thought to be heading 4.5 miles to see a cousin in Cushing. However, her husband told authorities she never showed up there. There since has been no, this is 2009, and this is Candace's sister. There since has been no sign of Bly. The Sheriff's Department believes she was driving a white 2001 Pontiac Grand Prix with Wisconsin plate 535 MAB. Anyone with information about Bly's whereabouts is asked to call the Sheriff's Department. How is that related? Like, how in the hell is this connected at all? It's not a red flag. It's nothing. It's just, it's just another case. I mean, how in the hell could it be related? Do you think that she faked her abduction and then later kidnapped Summer and they're living out somewhere? Is that the story? So Rosemary Bly and Summer Wells are somewhere together now. It was all an attempt. It was a fake disappearance so that later on she could abduct a child she didn't even know would exist because she wasn't born for another 10 years or so. Yeah, it just, to me, it's, yeah, doesn't seem related at all. It's a different state. Everything's different. I think I even found more stuff on it before. Let's see. Rose Marie Bly. Yeah, I mean, how about just ever? Okay, so this is still another one. Polk County looks for leads on missing woman. Officials in Wisconsin are trying to generate fresh leads in a 10-year-old disappearance of a 21-year-old woman from St. Croix. Rosemary Bly left her home on August 21st, 2009, and was believed to be headed to Cushing. Her car was found 5 days later in a parking lot in Grantsburg. So sounds like that's pretty ominous, right? The Polk County Sheriff's Office says it has got more than 200 tips and interviewed more than 150 people. August 24th, August 28th, 2009, August 24th, 2019. That's not her. 1959, Miss Rosemary Bly. That's from Pennsylvania. Okay, is this right? Police and rescuers still seek tips. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember he might have said something like that. Lawson also noted that there is no... okay, here we go. Lawson urged anyone with information about Summers' location to contact his office. Lawson also noted that there is no connection between Summers' disappearance and the disappearance of Summers' aunt, Rosemary Bly. But remember, Shadow Facts up there, Shadow Aspect told us that that they were. It's very concerning. It's bullshit. I mean, see, just use common sense, you guys. All right, so there we go. Rosemary Bly. So let's see. Lawson also noted that there is no connection between Summers' disappearance and the disappearance of Summers' aunt, Rosemary Bly, in Wisconsin in 2009. On August 21st, 2009, Bly, the sister of Summers' mother, The sister, okay, so it's Candace, not Candace, it's the sister of Grandis. No, excuse me. No, it's the sister of Candace. Never mind, I read that wrong. The sister of Summer's mother, Candace Wells. So it's just, an aunt to Summer. Left her residence in northwest Polk County, believed to be on her way to Cushing, Wisconsin. Bly has not been seen or heard from since. I would look more at the husband there. There's nothing that ties those two together, Lawson said. That's two separate incidents, unfortunately, in the same family. Summer was last seen at her home on Ben Hill Road in the Beech Creek community of Hawkins County on June 15th. All right, I'll give it one more shot, you guys. Can you guys please help support the channel tonight? We're trying to reach goals. We didn't come close last night. If you guys have the ability, we're looking for gifted channel memberships. That's always a good one. There's people out there that can't afford memberships, and getting them those would be great. Super chats, etc. We're just trying to keep the wheels running. But it's always strange in here for some unknown reason. Like we just have these nights where people just aren't willing to support the channel, don't know what the deal is. So if you can, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, we know Whiskey Boots. We know. We just explained it. No, it's not Summer's grandmother's. It's Summer's aunt. Yeah, they're both their names are Candace, but it's Summer's mom's sister. The sister of Summer's mother, right? They could have just said Summer Wells' aunt and the sister of Candace Wells. Left her residence in North Polk County. So that's really about all the references that are in there. Maybe we could try this other site that I use sometimes. Rose Marie Bly. Yeah, that didn't have anything. Yeah, we know. Yep. Yeah, we know. There isn't one, though. The Blanco. Yeah, he always says stuff like that, yeah. Yeah, he always says stuff like that. He's incorrect. Okay. Yeah, he's just always looking to make things a little bit more, serial killer, weirdness factor. And it's just not true, okay? There's no connection at all. He also said that Summer is under a shed being hidden from people. She's like in a dungeon below a shed. He said that, but nobody questioned it. They just let it be. Okay, so there's stuff out there that people say that just isn't accurate. He had some great videos, interviews and so forth. That's about it. Yeah, we know that the grandmother lives in the trailer behind Summer. We've gone over all of this, DeBlanc. Were you not here earlier? And her mom, and she went to Wisconsin the day that Summer went missing. Okay, so what? The aunt was abducted in 2009. It's not related, okay? It's absolutely not related. Of course, you're going to have YouTubers who claim it because it makes it a hell of a lot more fun and sensationalistic to watch. Okay? Tell me how it would be connected. Just give me something. It's totally different, too. This is a person who drove away in a car, and then her car is found, or that's what they say anyways, and then her car is found somewhere else. Summer just disappeared from the property. Are you guys even here? There's like nobody, it's 0 comments again. All right, let's see. I'll move to this one. That first one was the 16th, so that was the day after. And then this one. Remember that one where the horse was being pulled down the road? I mean, what's the connection? DeBlanco. Can you tell me what it is other than a YouTuber telling you they're connected? What, can you give me one? Obviously, there's family members who live in Wisconsin. And what does it have to do with her going back to Wisconsin? So you're saying that the daughter is in some faked her disappearance, and the grandmother brought Summer to this person. I mean, I guess out of any conspiracy theory, that sort of makes sense. The grandmother is the aunt's mom, and Summer's grandmother went missing. Grandmother went missing the second that Summer went. No, that's not true. Yeah. Grandma took off, and also he thinks there's a correlation, and that is what he. Yeah, okay, but so here's the conspiracy theory then, right, DeBlanco? That Rosemary Bly is still alive out there, and perhaps left an abusive relationship. And she's still alive, living her life somewhere. She's changed her name and everything like that. But she's a good person. And then the grandmother was fearing for Summer's life based on the parents' behavior, and so she wanted to give Summer a chance. So she's the one that abducted Summer and drove her all the way back to Wisconsin. And now Rosemary Bly is taking care of Summer Wells. Is that what we're to believe? I just said it. It doesn't matter. It just is what he said. And I thought, man, you guys watch a lot of garbage out there, I can tell you. You would talk about the grandmother tonight because it does not make... Yeah, I mean, I don't know when exactly she left. People claim that she left at a certain time because it makes the story more interesting. But yeah, I mean, you know, if she left the next day, you know, that's sort of interesting, right? Why would she leave? And what did she leave in? Did she drive her camper away? Did she have her own car? Remember, she just got her knee replaced. How would she be able to do that? Or she had something to do with her knee. Candace was in a different state when Rose went missing. Yeah. But what they're trying to make a connection is, I think, is exactly what I just said. That I think it, you know, because they're saying, oh, she went back to Wisconsin. Okay, well, if the grandmother went to Wisconsin, the only sort of connection to Wisconsin that we hear right now we know of is that Rosemary Bly went missing from Wisconsin. So if you drove right back the next day, why would you do that? Wouldn't you want to help out Candace with the missing child? Well, why? She left because she put Summer in the vehicle and drove all the way back, and then gave the daughter to this sister. And, you know, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know.
We do now.
Yeah, he puts out a lot of inaccurate information, DeBlanco, just letting you know, so.
Has arranged for Captain Tim Coop to elaborate on those efforts. He's with the Churchill Rescue Squad and is serving as the incident commander of ground search operations. Tim?
Thank you, Leslie. As Leslie elaborated, I wish we could have better news than we do now.
Well, I'm just telling you what he probably thinks. Why would she go back to the state where her daughter is missing from the next day? Well, you would think that she has Summer in the vehicle that she took off with and was able to maybe pick her up somewhere and drove her back to Wisconsin. That's my theory in what he would be talking about. Yeah, I just don't think they're connected in any, like, I don't know. The only way that they could be connected is if it's a huge conspiracy. That's it, right? Because it means that, Rosemarie Bly staged her own disappearance to escape somebody, and she's still out there. And then Grandis decided, hey, I mean, it would have to be in cahoots with Candace herself, took her the next day and drove her all the way back to Wisconsin to give to Rosemarie Bly, and she's taking care of Summer, giving her a chance out there. That's it. I mean, how else could they be connected? Can you think of something? Yeah, it doesn't say that in the articles that she left behind 2 kids, but yeah, there you go. So there you go. I mean, they must visit on the weekends.
From notification of Miss Summer going missing, we have implemented several methods of search and rescue.
Wait, isn't this the one? Let me just fast forward it. There's like a horse and buggy. Or is that the next one? No, that's... I thought it was this one. Yeah, right when he got up there or something, he like looks... It's kind of funny. Yeah, I don't see it. Anyways, I don't think people are that interested in here. Man, 2 nights in a row where I cover something different than the mainstream and get smoked. Man, unbelievable. I don't think anybody... I don't know where they're living right now. I think Dawn lives in, like, Utah or something currently. I don't know. And those could be some serious foul play with women. And yeah, I think it's either going to be an abduction by somebody who knew the family, or it's a cover-up that something happened. But like I've said before, I think that I think it's way like the timeline is the thing that isn't accurate that people base this case on. Candace is saying that there's a 2-minute window where Summer went missing. Okay, the normal timelines have it where, 5:30, Candace goes into the home, and then 6 o'clock is noticed missing, and then 6:30, the sheriff was called, or the 911 was called. But I think the reality is that the time frame, there's really like a 2-hour window where Candace wasn't paying attention, and somebody really could have abducted her. Maybe somebody that knew the family and she felt comfortable with, and they sort of snuck around. Hey, come over here, and then boom, she's out of there. It could be like a family friend that, again, like she was comfortable with, and in that 2-hour window got her out of there. Not 2 minutes or 30 minutes. That's what I think. I don't think it's... I know, everybody just doesn't want to like Dawn and Candace, so they come up with these really in-depth conspiracy theories, and I don't know. I just haven't seen it, man. Every time I see Dawn being interviewed, not the YouTube interviews, because what happens on YouTube is, it's late at night, the YouTuber gets a hold of him, and he's liquored up, and they start saying stupid shit, and then he gets angry, and then all these things, and it's just not, it's garbage at that point. And it's very similar to Chris Proudfoot, how that all went down. There's many cases out there, very similar, where the YouTubers are the ones that cause the issue. But anyways, I'm going to take off, you guys. And just another brutal night. So thank you for everybody showing up tonight. Hope you guys found it mildly interesting. We had Wild Bill Wassman, Alley Cake, Wild Bill Wassman, Gloria Batari, Wild Bill Wassman, Alley Cake, Wild Bill Wassman. You notice that? Like out of 200 people watching, we keep having the same 3 people supporting the channel. It's like, just wild. Horse Teeth Cow Teeth, and Jim Lawn jumped in with the only challenge we had tonight. And Alley Cake, Horse Teeth Cow Teeth, and Marine Co. and Wild Bill Wassman, then Alley Cake, then Slenderella Charming. Good job, Gray. He said Summer wanted a head shave like Candace, and then he said she cut her hair, and so they shaved her head, and then Candace shaved her head. Yeah. I mean, it's sort of the opposite. I just think people make errors when they're speaking, and, And look at Wild Bill Wassman again, Wild Bill Wassman, Lori, Wild Bill Wassman, Sunshine, then Wild Bill Wassman again, then Karen, and that's it. I mean, it's like 4 different people, and then we have Lisa Valenzuela with some coffees. It's crazy. Anyways, hope you guys found it interesting. See you guys later. And as I always say, hopefully we elect, I hope at some point, maybe we'll look to another show on Summer coming up in a little bit. I don't know. Tomorrow people will be talking about it, I'm sure. Maybe the day after that, people will be talking about it. But there really just isn't anything new. It's sort of like talking about the Nancy Guthrie case at this point. I mean, what's new in that one? Nothing. But hey, Wild Bill, thank you again for, at least making it, we got to 50% tonight. So that's good. It wouldn't have happened without you and the other people. Appreciate it. Let's see. What was the thing? Yeah, Jennifer. Every time Jennifer Coffindaffer says anything on the Nancy Guthrie case, the media outlets pick it up like it's some amazing, riveting information. She's talking about this, a theory that a crypto company has, that it was like a wrench, like you beat it out of her to get the crypto number. They think that's, what do you mean? Does anybody here think that Nancy Guthrie had a crypto wallet? No way, man. 84-year-olds don't have crypto wallets. There's no reason for her to have one. Well, my grandfather does, Gray, you bastard. Anyways, it's just crazy. Crazy times, everybody, but thanks for watching. Maybe we'll reach the goal tomorrow. Who the hell knows? But now it's 2 nights in a row. This is the 8th night this month that we didn't come close. The word of the goddess. But anyways, thanks everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
can never be dead enough.
And some of you, you make shit up.